very much, everyone. Now we'd like to call on the Malyari group. Yolo Pascual, Janella Salvador, John Brian Diamante, producer, Ron Angeles, and Derek Cabrito.
So raise your hand, please, if you want to ask a question. I'm going to give Amy and then John. So we start with Amy, right? Over there. Okay. Can I just say that we've known Derek since he was probably what? I don't know how young, but we've been attending Cinema Rifle Festival, so it's a point of pride for us that we now see Derek with his film, and it's been bought by Warner Brothers. So congratulations to this film. So we start with Amy.
Hi, thank you. I have a question for Philo. I'm Amy from TikTok. You are actually doing two historical figures on a row. So what do you do, and what preparation did you do for your role?
The first one, I already explained with Gomburza. I had a coach for the Spanish lines, but Direk Pepe gave me the script before the shoot. It was quick, very quick, a few scenes. I already portrayed the role of a priest for a TV show before, and for the film, I googled Pedro Pelaez just to know more about him, just to know about the life in the 1800s. So I did some research on YouTube just to know how it was during that time in terms of nuances and how they were. So it carried over to Malyari. When I started filming Malyari, I was coming from a vacation, and I found out when I got to the set on the first day that I had an acting coach, which was a blessing because I was also surprised that I was going to do 3 roles every day. Not that I wasn't prepared for it, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself. So I read the script one pass, and then after that, I parked it for a bit. And then I was flying back home. I read it again because it was really complex. There's too many things happening all at the same time. So I had to rely on my director. I reread my script over and over. Every day after shoot, I would read it again. I would read it from start to finish, and I would have conversations with my acting coach for every scene that we would tackle, for every role. So basically, I just relied on them, and I just kept on reading and trying to understand what the movie was all about based on the 3 timelines that I had to do. It was a good experience, it was a good exercise, and it was really humbling because you cannot really get ahead of yourself, and these are figures that I still, am haunted. And I'm just really happy that I get to do these roles, at this point of my life and my career, and yeah, it's quite exciting. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I'm Edith Andres from Balita Media. My question is, based on your experience, or probably what's your take with the Filipino audience in the Philippines and Filipinos here in the U.S.? So how do you think that are, especially, like having the billion of the results of what we had the recent MMFF. So there's the question about the Filipinos in the Philippines. What about here in the U.S.? Well, anyone.
Hi, by the way, I'm Brian. I'm the producer of Malayari from Mentor Productions. Basically, hopefully, we want to get in touch with our roots because as of the moment, Mentor Productions, it's our first mainstream film in the Philippines, Malayari. And personally, I wanted to produce films that will not just entertain, but really infuse Filipino culture to every film that we're going to do moving forward. So I hope that's something that the Filipinos abroad would also want to experience.
Okay, my question is for the Penduko group. Most of us, if not all of us,
See, John will
oh,
answer.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it?
Oh, sige.
Sige, what is it?
My question for the, okay, John. Could we all, I'm right here, John. Oh, careful.
I'm okay.
You okay? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, John, the Penduko, most of us, if not all of us, grew up with Pedro Penduko, originally by Ramon Zamora,
Yes.
and then it was remade by Jano Gibbs.
Jano Gibbs.
And now this is Gudicelli, Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo.
So, what are we, they said this is the Pedro Penduko of the new millennium.
Yes.
Can you, because like in the past two Penduko, it talks about mermaids, Encanto and all that. What are we supposed to expect with this Penduko of the new millennium?
Okay, at one glance, it looked like a folklore film. But it's actually more than that. Of course, the kids can enjoy it with their parents. But it speaks about finding yourself, trying to find your niche when these millennials and teenagers are, they thought that they're already adults and they can quarrel with their parents because they want to find themselves. Of course, there are some elements of magic, of fantastic effects, but these are all hyperbole. These are just symbols. In fact, the film talks about It talks about the value of life. It talks about our culture, our mythological creatures, but these are all just symbols about life. It speaks about being vindictive will change you as a human being. It will transform you it will transform you into something like monstrous being, something like that. So these are just symbols, but it talks about our culture as Filipinos. It talks about life. It's up to whoever is watching the film. If the kids, yes, surely they will enjoy the fantastic effects. But for all the Filipinos can actually relate to the film. They can look at it in a different angle. Did I answer it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I've got to ask Derek because, folks, the story of Malyari is very unusual because it's about the first and only recorded Filipino serial killer, and he happens to be a priest. So I would like to ask Derek your reaction when you first found out about the story and how you developed, and what was your initial gut reaction when you heard about a priest who's a serial killer?
Well, I've heard the story way back 2017, and then me and my writer Enrico was talking about it, and we were trying to look for a way to make it for the film, but we're having a hard time back then because there's a lot of missing details on the research materials of Malyari. Of course, I was so fascinated in the story because I haven't heard a priest which is also a serial killer, and it's not even a part of the culture of Filipinos where we have cases of serial killings. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's not part of our culture or the way we, you know. And so I was fascinated by the story, and then we started doing some research, and we're having some problems back then until we decided to do a 3 timeline way back 2019, 2020. So to do the story and to mix the fiction and the non-fiction part of the story. Yeah, so that's how it came up, and we pitched it to Piolo. And also with Brian, we pitched it to Brian, and Brian said yes about the material. So from there, everything starts moving forward.
So my question for Janella and Ryan and Piolo, how was it working with Mr. Derek Abrito and being part of the movie?
Ako muna. It was amazing. Then naka-work ko na si Derek before. We worked with each other in another horror film, but I was only there for 1 day. And I'm really glad that I got to work with him again this time, longer. It was, the first film was U-Turn, and yeah, it's always a great experience working with Derek. He knows what he wants.
One thing I can say about Derek is he already knew what he wanted. He had a vision. So whatever was happening on the set, he knew his technicals. He knew what he wanted for a scene. So he would discuss it with her cinematographer and then with us. So whenever he wouldn't get what he wants, he would like talk to you and put you aside. But one thing I was really impressed about is that he knows his genre. He knows his story, and he knows what he really wants for a film. So that alone made the film kind of complete because he had a vision that we just had to follow.
There were a lot of arguments, of course, but definitely the best thing working with Derek is we're able to compromise on things. And we are able to listen to each other. Ang dami namin ding learning curve dito sa MMFF dahil actually first time mainstream ko and first time MMFF ni Derek. So may maraming mga bagay na kailangan namin talagang pagtalunan. But the good thing with Derek is, we listen to each other. So that's why we're able to make Malyari.
So working with Derek at the very first time, parang kinakabahan ako that time kasi hindi ko siya kilala and first time ko siya ma-meet sa Malyari. And he's like my father. Before kami pumunta sa set, pinapaalala niya sa akin yung mga you need to be like this. Kailangan ganito yung action mo, yung mga ganyan. So, pag nakilala mo si Derek, parang ang saya na mag-work. I mean, the pressure nawawala. And yung mga, pag nakikita niya na stress ka sa ginagawa mo, is trying to help you para ma-showcase mo lalo yung talent mo.
Thank you very much, everyone. And I will ask you to pose for the photographers. Thank you.
And don't forget that we have a chance for one-on-ones outside.
Look to your left too. Thank you.
Can everyone stand up here?